All right, here we go. It's Thursday evening. It's weather for Weather Geeks time, our daily deep dive into the weather for the Mahoning and Shenango Valleys and many other places as well. But of course, we focus on our television viewing area. But I do like to show you some interesting weather happenings elsewhere across the country and sometimes the world. And sometimes we go into astronomy on this video. It's just kind of a geeky science video some of the times, especially when the weather is pretty quiet. Our weather today was pretty quiet. It was a little on the warm side by 1 degree. It was warmer than average today. We hit 83 at the Youngstown Warren Airport this afternoon. We've had a whopping 3 cooler than average days so far this July. 2 days where it was right at average. Every other day has been warmer than average, and we're about 3.5 degrees above average through the first roughly 2/3 of the month of July. So it's going to be another warmer than average month. That's pretty much a lock at this point, so that'll make it 3 in a row, May, June, and July, after a very chilly back-to-back period in March and April. Early spring, if you remember, was quite chilly. All right, it's far from chilly in a lot of places across the country today. I wanted to show you the national high-temperature map today. 108 in Dallas. Now, this is just the start of it for Dallas. I mean, they're going to reel off like a week straight of temperatures just like this. And you know, in Dallas, it's humid too. So, I mean, this is just brutal heat. This is the kind of heat wave they had back in 2011. So this will probably rival one of their more significant heat waves in the Southern Plains from 7 years ago. Back here at home, of course, dry weather lately has been a bit of a story. We've had some thunderstorms this week that have helped some lawns and gardens out, others not so much. Every Thursday, the Drought Monitor product from the National Weather Service is refreshed, and we are not in the abnormally dry category here, although we could be. You know, it's abnormally dry in parts of the region. Thankfully, we're going to get into a wetter pattern here over the next week or so things should start to green up a little bit once again. Where are the drought conditions? Well, really from Buffalo across I-90 towards Watertown, Albany area, and points north. That's where some nearby drought conditions are. Also parts of the lower peninsula of Michigan, officially in the moderate drought category. Our clouds today were different than yesterday. We had those popcorn cumulus clouds yesterday. I showed you the high-res visible satellite loop last evening on Weather Geeks. Today it was more cirrus clouds, very high up in the atmosphere, ice crystal clouds that were, you know, partially obscuring the sun, and I mean partially. It was just generally a sunny day, of course, today. A beautiful day overall. It's been a very stormy evening in parts of the Midwest. I've seen some pretty incredible video and pictures coming out of the Iowa area. When I recorded this video, there's still a skinny tornado watch up, and look at all the tornado reports out in Iowa today, including a town that was really devastated. And this is a town, I think, of 20,000 people, so a decent-sized town, Marshalltown. There in Iowa, reports of catastrophic damage, vehicles missing, overturned, a lot of damage to structures. Again, perusing Twitter, saw a lot of pretty dramatic and unfortunate video from that town earlier on this evening. All right, our weather tomorrow will turn out to be a little more humid than it has been. Our dew point kind of vacation will come to an end, with dew points making their way into the middle and in some places upper 60s by the end of the day tomorrow. At more humid air mass, also accompanied by a little instability in the atmosphere, and I think there'll probably be a band of showers and storms around midday that cruises across Ohio, weakening as it comes east into more stable air near the PA state line. So it's possible we see a shower and thunderstorm later in the day tomorrow, but our severe weather chances, our strong thunderstorm chances, are not as high as our neighbors to the south and west. An enhanced risk as far north as Louisville tomorrow, and Cincinnati and Dayton are in the slight risk of severe weather. Now, as we go into the weekend, this low-pressure system is going to hit the brakes. Everything's going to become kind of clogged up, and that's going to lead to a pretty moist flow for us and a lot of instability in the atmosphere. Showers are going to try to pop up from time to time. On Saturday, there could be some thunderstorms as well, probably the most active period, the afternoon. Now, as we go into the day on Sunday, there's a possibility that this low drifts far enough south that the most numerous showers and storms may be more down in here rather than as far north as our area. I'm not real confident in that just yet. I left the chance of precipitation both days this weekend equal at 60%. Might fine-tune that a little before the evening's through. But right now, just plan on kind of similar weather Saturday and Sunday. Mostly dry mornings, but in the afternoon, pop up random showers and storms will be the call. And the dew points, again, elevated for the next several days and probably peaking early next week. This looks like a pretty uncomfortable pattern next week. It's not going to be as hot as it has been. We're not going to see 90. But 84, 85 with a dew point of 72 or 73, that's pretty uncomfortable. And so we've got a very moisture-laden forecast for next week. A squeeze play going on here in the atmosphere. the setup for next week is you've got this Bermuda high over here, a high pressure system that kind of anchors itself near or just north of Bermuda and feeds moisture up along the east coast. And then you've got this upper trough back here, and everything's kind of, the works are kind of gummed up, and so all this moisture gets pulled into this trough, and boy, very, very wet period coming up for parts of the east coast, down into the beaches of the Carolinas, down into parts of Florida. We won't be that wet here, but still we'll be close enough to this unstable zone that I think we'll see a period next week of almost daily showers and storms that try to crop up and impact some areas and don't impact others. It's going to be one of those weeks where I'm not going to be able to tell you which backyards are going to get wet, but some are, especially as we get into the afternoon hours. This is a look at the European model, rainfall totals for the next several days. This takes us out a week, or almost a week, 6.5 days basically. Look at all the rain forecasted by the model here from the Green and White Mountains down through the Adirondacks, the Poconos, down through D.C., Roanoke, maybe Charlotte and Raleigh, the beaches of the Carolinas, and actually a decent amount of rain getting wrung out over the next handful of days, lower Ohio River Valley. There's actually a relative minimum shown here on the model in northeast Ohio, northwest PA, and western New York. Now, we're going to see some wet weather around here, but not as much, not as much as our neighbors to the south and west and our neighbors to the east as well. All right, why is this map blank? Well, I was going to show you that the Climate Prediction Center put out their August outlook. I'm not sure why my map is now blank, but they put out their August outlook, their first shot at the August forecast. I'll kind of draw in what it shows. It's showing no areas where it's likely to be cooler than average. And the highest odds of above average temperatures are out west and along the eastern seaboard like this. And for us, we're kind of in this zone right here, a lower end chance of a warmer than average month. I think that's the right idea. I think odds do favor a warmer than average month, although I doubt that we see the kind of persistent and intense heat that we've had so far this summer. I suspect, we've seen 10 90-degree days so far this year. We may add a few to that, but I doubt we see a plethora of 90-degree days during the back half of summer. Here's a look at the CPC Precip outlook for August. Chances of above average precipitation with a monsoonal flow in the southwest. Decent shot of below average precipitation, southern plains, maybe a little wetter than average, coastal sections of the southeast, and not much of a signal here locally. So we can't really say much about precipitation totals during the month of August. This is their forecast, not mine, but I agree with the overall idea here when it comes to the precipitation. Also of note, the Climate Prediction Center put out their first shot, or very early shot, at the winter forecast, both in terms of temperature and precipitation. What it's showing is basically a decent chance of a warmer than average winter near the U.S.-Canadian border, equal chances of cool and warmer than average temperatures in the southeast and up through parts of the Ohio Valley, equal chances here locally of as far as precipitation goes, either wetter than average or drier than average for the winter. This is largely based on the premise that there's going to be an El Nino this winter. But not all El Ninos are alike. This is kind of a classic look here of all the El Ninos averaged together. But when you average all the El Ninos together, in that mix, there's going to be some El Ninos that don't look like this. And we've got to look at a lot of other stuff when it comes to making a seasonal forecast. And we'll put out our winter forecast, as always, right around Halloween. And we'll focus on how strong is the El Nino, where is the El Nino centered, because sometimes you have an east-based El Nino where the warmest water temperatures compared to average are banked up against South America. Sometimes you have a more centralized El Nino where the warmest water temperatures compared to average are more in the central Pacific, and that makes a big difference as far as the global weather patterns that result. And there's a lot of other things to look at as well, different oscillations, and I'll do my usual probably 10-minute video online and a shorter version on TV of the winter outlook, but that's 3 months away. We're going to worry about that later. I just wanted to show you that because it is a quiet weather night here locally, and some people may be interested in the fact that we're already thinking a little bit about next winter here in the middle of summer. Thanks for watching tonight's weather for Weather Geeks. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great Thursday night, everyone.